one of the things that I didn't know, and I follow politics somewhat closely, though, again, not Pakistan is not in my my wheelhouse. I mean, I'm generally just, I think Imran Khan is good, and the people who oppose him are bad. I mean, I'm sure there's some good people who oppose him, maybe, but not the people who support the people who regime changed him. But, I'm surprised by how little attention he gets from leftist media, from leftist thinkers. And I didn't even know that he had been shot in the leg. So here's a video about this. It's from 2022.
In the chaotic moments after the shooting, Imran Khan had to be carried out and whisked away from the crowd. A gunman had opened fire at a rally of tens of thousands of his supporters. His target, Khan's party says, was the former Prime Minister himself. Shot in the lower leg, he was bundled into a bulletproof car and driven 2 hours to Lahore for surgery. A party senior leader released a statement from Khan saying Pakistan's old cricketing hero blamed Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, his interior minister, and a senior intelligence official for an attempt on his life, calling for their removal from office. It was, the government said, a grievous accusation. Outside the hospital, people waited desperately for news. Protests broke out across the country as news of the shooting spread. 6 others were injured in the attack, and 1 was killed, according to a senator from Khan's political party. Please pray for Imran Khan, for our fellow workers who are injured, this senator says, and for our party member who has died. Khan had been on the campaign trail to demand snap elections in Pakistan after he was ousted in a vote of no confidence in parliament just 6 months ago, accused of bad governance and mismanaging the country's flailing economy.
What are your thoughts on this?
Kitty, you have raised two pertinent questions. Basically, the one question, and then you have actually raised another question inside it, that why the US media, even the left-leaning US media, has not taken any interest in Pakistan.
Yeah.
This is a very puzzling question. If the US legacy media, the mainstream media, and now the social media had taken a greater professional interest in Pakistan, perhaps the situation would not have drifted in the dangerous direction in which it is drifting at the moment. But the reason perhaps is that Pakistan, the relationship between Pakistan has always been a military-to-military relationship starting from early 1950s. And this relationship between the US military and the Pakistani military did not allow any other kind of relationship to develop with Pakistan, because the military started to dominate the complete social life, the media, the intellectual life, the political life, the institutional life of Pakistan. So Pakistan is now, can be described academically, that Pakistan is nothing left other than the military. So whenever there is any objection or condemnation of Pakistan, for instance, in context of Afghanistan, the US military started saying that Pakistan has been playing double games with them. You might have heard these kind of things, that Pakistanis are not being fair. It is not about Pakistan. It is all about the military. So how the US military is playing for the Washington or is playing against the Washington, what is it doing to India, what is it doing in Afghanistan. So Pakistan has never developed any relationship, media to media, business to business, politics to politics, human to human, despite the fact that within the United States, there are very successful Pakistani-American diaspora community of Pakistani origin. But even the Pakistani military is so powerful that they are capable of influencing the mind and the opinions which the Pakistani community within the United States takes. And they're also running one of the most sophisticated and ruthless campaign of transnational repression. Anyone, like I am appearing on your TV program, they will find out someone who's close to me, they're going to arrest him or detain him. They keep on, every time they see me somewhere, going to Congress or somewhere, they register a new case against me. So the whole relationship is dominated by the Pakistani military, and they have not allowed any understanding about Pakistan or any interest about the society of Pakistan to develop in the United States. But if you and many others in the United States can help develop that interest, things will start changing in Pakistan. So now coming to the second thing, it was not only he was shot in the leg, Imran Khan, on 2nd November 2022, they actually tried to assassinate him. Right. Because at that time, he was running a political rally and a campaign starting from Lahore in the south of Pakistan, coming to Rawalpindi. He was demanding that the next army chief should be appointed on merit. And this gentleman, the Asim Munir, who continued to refer everyone, was actually a retired army officer at the time. But Nawaz Sharif, an important Pakistani politician, managed to appoint him as the army chief. Imran at the time was demanding that the army chief should be appointed on merit. And when he was on the way, close to halfway through, they hired an assassin and tried killing him. He fortunately survived with the grace of God, but there has been no investigation into that murder to this day.
Yeah, I kind of buried the lead there when I said he'd been shot in the leg. I mean, it was an assassination attempt.
Definitely.
Yeah. Talk about, to the extent that you can, I mean, you are living in exile. So why did you have to leave Pakistan yourself?
I was a prominent television anchor person in Pakistan and a writer and editor with access at all levels with the military, the foreign service, the politics. On 22nd and 23rd of October 2022, a very dear colleague of mine, who was the most important Pakistani politician at the time, the military allegedly killed him in Kenya. He had left because they were trying to arrest him, so he ran off. He was in exile in Dubai, in UAE. There, the military tried deporting him back from Dubai, and the UAE authorities didn't deport him, but they actually forced him to leave, and he ended up in Kenya. In the Kenya, he was murdered.
Kenya and Africa. Kenya.
Yeah, in Africa. In Nairobi, close to Nairobi, the capital. He was there for a few days, and they chased him and they shot him. Now, of course, they say, no, this was an accident, something else happened. But every Pakistani knows that the Pakistani military shot the journalist Arshad Sharif. When they shot him, I sensed that things in Pakistan, though at that time I was not threatened for my life. They used to call me over in the midnight. They would brief me. They said, don't write this. At that time, principally, the problem was with the Twitter. Twitter has emerged as the most important political tool in Pakistani politics. So they used to object to my tweets, and I realized that things will go south. So I thought that maybe in the next few months, the situation will improve. And I was a US resident, so I left, and I was a British citizen. So I left Pakistan. I came here in the end of October 2022, and I thought I'll go back. But the things started going south. Things started getting more, like I was here in DC, Washington, when Imran Khan was shot on 2nd November. I saw that on television, right? And then, there have been massive instances, and the US media has not reported that how perhaps hundreds of people have been allegedly killed on 26th of November 2024, when there were almost 100,000 people that came from all over Pakistan. They reached the capital city, Islamabad. They're demanding that Pakistan's constitution be preserved, Pakistan's Supreme Court should not be destroyed. And right very close to Pakistan's parliament and Pakistani Supreme Court, the military, paramilitaries shot at them. They took away the dead bodies. It was almost reminiscent to, you might have heard the term banana massacre in Latin America, in Colombia in 1928, which Garcia, the famous author of 100 Years of Solitude.
Garcia Marquez,
Yeah, Garcia Marquez. Garcia Marquez mentions the banana massacre in his book 100 Years of Solitude. When the Colombian military killed the laborers, this was related to the United Fruit Company, which is now called as the Chiquita Banana Company. And they took away the dead bodies. It's believed that anywhere from 50 to 1,000 laborers were killed. Similarly, in Pakistan, publicly it's known as only 12 or 14 people were killed that day on 26 November. But privately, people believe that maybe more than 100 or several hundred people were killed and the dead bodies were taken away. And it has not been reported by New York Times. I was shocked, the correspondent of New York Times writes in New York Times that apparently people say that firing has taken place. He hasn't even mentioned that, the massive firing that took place in the middle of the night. Similarly, this year, on 13th October 2025, the military inspired a political party that was an Islamist political party to demonstrate against Israel. And then, in order to create the impression upon the Western world that, look, anyone, how much problem we have in recognizing Israel or sending troops to Gaza, they actually shot at them. Once again, no one knows how many people have died on 13th October 2025 in Moeed. It is believed that officially only 4 people, but if you look at the story which has been published by Ryan Grimm in the drop site, they fear that a very large number of people have died. Initially, people thought perhaps hundreds of people have died. On Pakistani television channel Sama, someone said 600 people have died. So this is the kind of situation in Pakistan, which is not being reported by New York Times, Washington Post. It is not being on CNN or CBS or any of the legacy United States media. If it had been there, things would change.